Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for April 29th through May 5th, 2013. And so we are ending one month and moving into the next. So we have a time of transition. And this week I wanted to work with the Soul Lesson and Soul Purpose cards by Sonia Choquette, and also want to work with the Archangel Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue to kind of get a theme and a feeling for this week. And so as we kind of tune in to this week's energy, I just want to kind of get a message from the angels. So what I'm seeing is a balcony with a kneeler, or like a kneeler that you may see in church, which has like a stand, and so it looks like this, and it's on a balcony that is very high up, overlooking. Almost reminds you of a very important balcony, like you may see in scenes where the Pope, may stand in the Vatican, or the Queen of England. So, and it's kind of a bay window. And so it looks like we're surrendering ourselves in a sense, in prayer and meditation. We're surrendering to the world. And this really has truly been a time of surrender. If you would remember that before, we were talking about there were various gateways or thresholds that were mentioned before. And I know that over the last month and a half has been pretty rough on all of us, the energy. And for myself as well. And what I've recognized in all of this was a beautiful understanding about surrendering. I'm just seeing an image of a fireplace, in a very warm fireplace in a very loving home, with a mirror or portrait above the fireplace, more of a mirror. And so there's a sense that a shift is taking place. This surrender is really important and significant. Because what it's doing is allowing all of us to have a different perspective about our lives than what we were probably meditating on before. So the scene seems to be that it reminds me very much of the card in the tarot, the hangman. In Doreen's deck, it's called The Awakening, I think it is, where you are just, your things seemed or have seemed to be a bit suspended, and you're looking at things from a different perspective. You're seeing the world from upside down, and so that little shift in understanding or perception is very important. What I have noticed for myself is that my understanding of what surrender means, and sacrifice is sometimes associated with that card as well, has really been so that I could awaken to my truth. And remember, I said at the beginning of this year that the message I had received was that since December 21st is that what we should be focused on and expecting is greater clarity of truth. And in the Course in Miracles, this truth is the understanding and perspective of God. What the Creator has created is real. And I love that quote, which says, "Nothing real can be threatened," from the Course in Miracles. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. So our whole purpose and this whole transition that we've been going through, and this threshold, these different thresholds that we went through one of stone with water, wood, and the last one I remember talking about was the one of fire. And what we've been going through is a clearing, a purification, but almost like with the elements, if you will. And so as we go, we've been through this, we've seen a lot of things come up for us, a lot of challenges, a lot of our fears of the ego. The foundation of the ego was being, how do we say, being unraveled and broken in order that we could firmly place ourselves on the foundation of love, which is the slight shift, the slight change in perspective, where we no longer see our lives through our fears, but through the truth and reality of God's love and the way that He created us and the world. So really a remembering. And so this is what we've been surrendering to, this love that offers us freedom, that offers us choice, possibilities, experience, new experience, based on truth and based on wholeness, not fragmented, segmented, or separated, or what the ego illusions that create more and more insanity, that creates more cycles where we just end up not ever finding fulfillment. Is what fear offers us. And so this is a lot for the human consciousness to surrender to, for our egos and our understanding perceptions to surrender to that. This is a lot. But in truth, it is not very difficult at all. And so it would almost be like a friend of mine was saying, it's almost like you have this stage and a play on the stage, and then all of a sudden there's a shift, just a shift from fear to love, and it's the same play, same actors. It's just that the understanding is different. So let's just tune in and see what the angels have to say and what our first card is for this week. And hopefully we can talk more about that and clarify that. So the card is clairaudience, and it's the Archangel Zadkiel, and it says, notice the loving guidance you hear inside your mind or from other people. Let me just tune into this card for a moment. And what I'm seeing is what they showed me was, it's very interesting. Again, they're working with this, it was like a room, a very ornate room. And the clothing changed on the person to something like Roman garments, a very, change from, a transformation from maybe more like simple peasant garments into someone who was an official. And so there's that sense of transition again, that we now really want to tune in to the messages of love. And as we do this, we are transformed into our natural state of divine order and divine hierarchy, in the sense that we are all truly beautiful and beautiful creations of God, and in all that means, a divine perfection. And so as we listen to the loving guidance, so what we're being asked to do is really to call upon the higher order, to call upon divine order, and to call upon the divine, like the Holy Spirit and whatever deity that you work with, but to call upon the Holy Spirit to guide you and to show you the love, to show you, to help you with correcting your perception of your world, so that you can see what majesty lies around you and within you, so that you can obtain this experience of peace and comfort and abundance and joy. And so let's just take a look at the cards for the beginning of the week, middle of the week, and the end of the week. The first card, this is a new deck for me. I've had it for a long time, but I've rarely worked with it. So I'm very interested to see what messages we get for the beginning of the week. And the first card says, live life to the fullest. Okay, so as we look at this for the beginning of the week, we see this tree here in the card, and I'm really drawn towards the fruits that it bears. And so, you know, here we have to, the first thought that's coming to me is that, you know, first of all, we have to step into that mindset of abundance. And when we expect abundance and we shift into that abundance and we're grounded in love and harmony, we can begin to bear the fruits that of all that we've been sowing within our hearts. You know, the perception of love is that God is always, and the universe is always listening to and answering and fulfilling everything that we have need of before we ask for it, and it knows our hearts and is scanning that. And so the thing is that in living life to the fullest, we have to just allow the fullness in, is really the message. And so for the beginning of the week, Monday and Tuesday, allow the fullness in, allow your life to bear the fruit. So often we get in the way with negative thinking and we hold ourselves back and we don't really allow it all in. So as you know, instead of listening to negative criticisms from within or from others, listen to the loving guidance. Really tune in with Archangel Zadkiel to ask him to clear your ear chakras so that you can really invite the loving guidance of God and the angels to guide you, to show you who you truly are, so that you can live life to the fullest and bear those fruit. So this looks like a very good start to the week, where you may actually see some signs of things that you've been praying for or desiring, as they may start to show signs. And so what it only requires from you is to keep your heart open and to allow yourself to be seen and known and understood as being loved and supported by love and surrounded by love, and that everything around you is a reflection of love if you're willing to see past the illusions that the ego creates for us. Let's take a look at the next card, which is for the middle of the week. Okay, and so the card says, don't push the envelope. And so if we just look at this card for a moment, you see that what I'm drawn to in this card is how things are just, all the universe is just swirling around him. And so what I'm really getting from the angels from this card is that your things come naturally to all of us. This love, this our desires, our dreams, these are all things that the universe wants to give to us, and we really don't have to push for it. I'm reminded of the phrase that I was given by the angels, the action of inaction. And so what we really need to do is trust. And so instead of pushing, we trust and we know. And as he's looking at his clock, at his watch there, we just have to watch and allow divine timing to take place. So do what comes to you. Pay attention is what really is the focus of this card, that we need to pay attention to what the universe is offering us. Be open, be aware, listen, is the card for this week, the theme of the week, which is clairaudience. Listen, pay attention to the signs, notice the love and guidance, and know that divine timing. We just need to pay attention to what is being offered to us, and know that everything else is in divine order, and it will come to us at the right time. So we don't need to push. So at the middle of the week, if you're feeling a sense of urgency, or you're feeling overwhelmed, or you're just feeling like things are flying in all kinds of directions and there's no certainty about anything, just take a step back and trust and just pay attention. So this card also suggests being very receptive, putting ourselves in the state of being very receptive, as does the theme of the week, which clairaudience is about listening. And that's a state of being receptive and listening and being open to the universe. Let's take a look at the card for the weekend. And the card says, correct your mistakes. Okay. And as I just tune into this card for a moment, as I take a look at this card, the first thing that hit me was, and I'm seeing the dove here reminds me of the Holy Spirit. And I was thinking about the Course in Miracles. I remember last week I really guided everyone to begin to read this book. And it talks all about this, about correcting mistakes. And really it's called the atonement and undoing errors. And this is kind of what we're talking about here. That we have to see ourselves as who we truly are and how we were truly made and what is the reality of the universe. And our ego, the mind, mind creates mistakes and projects things onto our lives, into our bodies, into our physical understanding of the physical world. And so what we're experiencing quite often is this error of perception and understanding. We perceive our brothers and sisters as not being holy and divine, or we perceive our situations and circumstances as being lack, when opportunities and abundance are always with us. And these are the things that God would have us to correct, shifting from fear to love. And so over the weekend, it seems like you want to take a little time and reflect and look at what you've been creating through your fears. Take time to take inventory of what has been happening over the last month and a half, and kind of get a sense of how you have allowed your ego to really take over and to make you feel as though that you've been in, it has been like we've been in the frying pan as I'm drawn to this fire. It's been, very unsettling, and it's been like we've been in a pressure cooker, and we just couldn't find, any kind of relief. And so this is where, calling on the Holy Spirit, and really allowing and asking to help you to see what is really divine truth. So it's not that you've done something wrong. It's not about the mistakes. It's about what created the mistakes. And it's about shifting from that fear to base thinking into love, and understanding really how love is always present and how it's always a choice, and in truth the only choice. It's the only choice because love is only that which is real, and our fears and the ego, they are just smoke screens. And when we give our belief to them, they appear to be real. And that is the correction that needs to be made. So if we take a look here at the theme for this week and the overall message and what we're being told here, we're being really asked to listen to the voice of love in our hearts, to really get out of our heads, to clear that energy out, to to continue to purify ourselves in this way, and really get to the heart of the matter, to connect in with the truth, see the truth all around you so that the abundance can flow into your lives, so that you can start to experience the fulfillment that has already been established for you, and has always been your only truth and reality from the beginning of time, of creation. And so, that we, again, don't push things this week in terms of feeling a sense of urgency. Go back and really understand who you are, and understand that love is your foundation, and that things flow to you because that love that created everything, that created reality, is a part of you. It is always surrounding you, and it is the love that God offers each and every one of us. And so we only have to just be willing to want to experience and to know truth. If we ask for that, then you will receive revelations that will help you to understand where you are going, and where you truly are, not where your ego is trying to tell you and cause you to go into greater fear and despair. So as we take a look this week at this reading, there's a feeling of that we're coming out of a period, and what we need to do, what it requires us to do, is really to be in prayer, to surrender ourselves, to surrender everything that we believe to be true to God, and release that fear, release those illusions, and begin to have the willingness to embrace the truth of God's love in our lives, and how that really functions for us, and what that means, because we're created from it. And so I would send you so much love and so much blessings from God and the angels. I really hope that this week you are able to hear the love and to experience the love in your life. And so as a quick reminder, just to let you know that this week I'll extend it from May 1st. The readings I was offering for $77, the half-hour reading, I was offering it for 1 hour, and I'll extend it through this Sunday, May 5th. And also to let you know as well that if you feel like you can't afford the hour reading $77 offer, and you just have a question, you can email me. You can contact me through Facebook, and you can receive an email reading, one question, for $35, and just give me a time to get back to you. We could do it on Facebook through a private message if you want, so we can live, or you just give me a chance, a couple of days, to get back to you with an answer. So if you have any questions about this, just contact me through Facebook or Twitter, private message me on YouTube, or my website at theangelschool.com. And so God's blessings to you this week, and check out the Course in Miracles, because I think you'll really get a better understanding of this reading. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, and I'll see you next week.